Today in our Women in the Media segment, where we're going to talk about how it's so important for us to take charge and make our own opportunities. We have Marrie here, who started your own radio show. Tell us what the name of it is.
It's called The Verb.
The Verb. And you also have a show called Elementary.
It's Elementary, yes, it's my actual show. The Verb is the radio station.
Okay.
It's Elementary is the show that I host.
Okay. So tell us about Elementary. How did you come up with that title?
Well, my radio name is Marrie, and so it's kind of like my class for the listeners, where I just talk about things that I think they should be, the conversations I think they should be having, and the conversations that aren't in the mainstream media that we try to bring to light.
It seems like you're very into culture. You want to raise the level of the conversation. Is that true? Do you feel that society is kind of degraded a little bit?
I do, especially in the urban community. Like right now, the most popular thing on TV that I see so many people are into are the reality shows, like the Basketball Wives and the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
That's how all of us live, right?
Of course we do, of course we do. And it kind of bothers me because I see a lot of women, especially black women, and especially younger black women, emulating these types of women who they see as role models. And I know if you've seen those reality shows, you know the kind of behavior that goes on.
I mean, what kind of behavior? What's an example?
Cat fights and hair
really?
Pulling and you know, just
no one can get along.
Exactly, exactly. And so I wanted to let drama.
Exactly. Which we all do have in our lives, but they definitely take it to an extreme.
That's on a whole different level, a completely different level. So I wanted the urban community to be aware that, for instance, we just did a show where we talked about what you could be watching and probably should be watching on TV besides these reality shows. And so I just want to raise awareness that there are other things out there. And it also seems like...
What should we be watching? What do we have?
Oh, my favorite show right now is Psych.
And I do love that show.
I love that show. I absolutely love it. And I think it's a very well-written show. It's a very well-acted show. And
I think a lot of fun.
If you want to watch something, if you have to watch TV, I prefer that you be listening to Verb Radio.
Exactly.
If you're not doing that, if you have to watch something, I'd rather you watch something that's really well-written, well-acted, and entertaining, and not just reality.
So it can be entertaining too. It doesn't have to be all serious. It doesn't just have to be news. There are great things out there that, you know, it just are a little bit more thought-provoking. But tell us, how did you decide to start this radio show?
Well, like a lot of great ideas, Verb Radio came from necessity. I had written and self-published 2 books of poetry, me and my best friend, who now actually is my fiance.
Oh, wow, that is a best friend.
That's a whole different story. But we actually self-published 2 books of poetry, and we were going through the regular marketing, you know, doing the Facebook and Twitter, and back then it was MySpace, and it just didn't seem to be catching on. And so I had the idea, because poetry is meant to be really heard and not really written, I decided let's do a radio show to promote the poetry books. And so from that, Verb Radio was born.
Well, I don't know that poetry really takes off until you've been dead for 100 years. I think that's actually the rule.
Exactly.
So you'll be very famous in the very far future.
Yes.
So what kind of response have you gotten from the community? Do they feel like, absolutely, I was looking for people to have these conversations because I'm so tired of all the things out there, the Kim and Kanye and all of that?
Exactly. Yes, we've had a really good response. A lot of the radio, even the internet radio, caters to more of a younger urban crowd, where it's mostly hip-hop music and things like that. But on our channel, we promote independent artists, so we like to give them a voice. And some of the best music I've found today has been from independent artists. And that's actually what I listen to. I really couldn't tell you what's on the radio right now because I don't really listen to that. And so we give independent artists a voice. And we also have a variety. It's not just talk, it's not just music. And as you said, it's not just one particular subject.
So music is the way you relax?
It is. It is.
What you like to do?
I enjoy music.
All right, well, that was Marrie, and you can listen to her at Verb Talk Radio.
Yes, verbradio.com.
Verbradio.com. Thanks so much for being here, Elle.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be back with more Every Way Woman.